Hi, and welcome to Shelby's Crafty Books, a place for bookish crafts and games. For today's video, I'll be going over the books I read in May 2025. I read 6 books in May, bringing me to 25 books read in all of 2025, meaning I'm halfway to my goal of reading 50 books this year. Yay! As I recap the books I read, I'll be doing a major tweak on a drawing challenge I found on Instagram. I saw one where you draw yourself as a Pokemon trainer, but I thought it would be fun to draw a book character with Pokemon I think best suit them. I'll be doing Celaena from the Throne of Glass series. I picked 3 Pokemon for her based on what I think an assassin would have, and one I felt fit her design-wise. First is Frogadier, the water starter Pokemon. Its design looks sneaky and mysterious, like Celaena. Second is Sneasel, the dark and ice-type Pokemon. This typing really complements Celaena look-wise. Third is Vulpix, the fire Pokemon. Vulpix is based on a fox, and I feel Celaena is like how people perceive a fox. Okay, let's get started with the books. First, I read The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Lynn Seller. I listened to this on audiobook. The summary states, Alessandra is tired of being overlooked, but she has a plan to gain power. 1. Woo the Shadow King. 2. Marry him. 3. Kill him and take his kingdom for herself. No one knows the extent of the freshly crowned Shadow King's power. Some say he can command the shadows that swirl around him to do his bidding. Others say they speak to him, whisper the thoughts of his enemies. Alessandra knows what she deserves, and she's going to do everything within her power to get it. But Alessandra's not the only one trying to kill the king. As attempts on his life are made, she finds herself trying to keep him alive long enough for him to make her his queen, all the while struggling not to lose her heart. After all, who better for a Shadow King than a cunning villainous queen? My thoughts. I enjoyed following the main character Alessandra as she tries to manipulate those around her, and how her feelings change throughout the story. I also liked how Alessandra created her own outfits. I felt the climax was a bit rushed though. It's kind of hard to explain why though, without giving away any spoilers. I gave Shadow Between Us 4 out of 5 stars. Next is Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sue Lin Tan, which is one of the 2 books I hope to read this month. Go me! I read this as a physical book. The summary states, after her perilous quest to free her mother, Xingyin thrives once more in the tranquility of her home, but her fragile peace is threatened by the discovery of a strange magic on the moon, and unsettling changes in the celestial kingdom as the Emperor tightens his grip on power. While Xingyin is determined to keep clear of the rising danger, the discovery of a shocking truth spurs her into a treacherous confrontation. Forced to flee her home once more, Xingyin and her companions venture into unexplored lands of the mortal realm, encountering legendary creatures and shrewd monarchs, beloved friends and bitter adversaries. With alliances shifting quicker than the tides, Xingyin has to overcome past grudges and emits to forge a new path forward, seeking aid where she never imagined she would. As an unspeakable terror sweeps through the realm, Xingyin must uncover the truth of her heart and claw her way through devastation. To rise against this evil before it destroys everything she holds dear and the world she has grown to love, even if doing so demands the greatest price of all. My thoughts. This was an amazing follow-up to Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I loved the world-ending plot of this one, and how the timeline was all close together, where the first book had tons of time skips. The fight scenes had me on the edge of my seat as well. I didn't like how Xingyin treated some of the characters though. I gave Heart of the Sun Warrior 5 out of 5 stars. The third book I read was Resistance by Jennifer A. Nielsen. I read this as a physical book. The summary states, Chia Linder is a teenage living in the Axis-occupied Poland. Simply being Jewish places her in danger of being killed or sent to camps. After her little sister is taken away, her younger brother disappears, and her parents all but give up hope. Chia is determined to make a difference. Using forged papers and her fair features, Chinya becomes a courier and travels between the Jewish ghettos of Poland, smuggling food, papers, and even people. Soon, Chinya joins a resistance cell that runs raids on the Axis supplies, but after a mission goes terribly wrong, Chinya's network shatters. She is alone and unsure of where to go, until Esther, a member of her cell, finds her and delivers a message that chills Chinya to her core, and sends her on a journey towards even a larger uprising in the works, in the Warsaw Ghetto. My thoughts. This was a haunting but amazing story. Reading about what the teens did during World War II was very insightful. I learned new things throughout the story, and it makes me want to read more historical fiction books soon. I gave Resistance 5 out of 5 stars. Next is The Dawn of Yangchen by F.C. Yi. This was the other book I hoped to read in May. So I accomplished my mission. Woo! I listened to this on audiobook. The summary states, plagued by the voices of avatars before her for as long as she can remember, Yangchen has not yet earned the respect felt for Avatar Sito, her predecessor. In an era where loyalty is brought rather than earned, she has little reasoning to trust her counsel. When Yangchen travels to the Ben-Er in the Earth Kingdom on a political business, a chance encounter with an informant named Kavik leads to a wary partnership. Ben-Er is a city ruled by corrupt Shang merchants who have become resentful of the Earth King and his whims. To extract themselves from his influence, the Shangs have one solution in mind: a mysterious weapon of mass destruction that will place power squarely in their hands. As Yangchen and Kavik seek to thwart the Shang's plan, their unlikely friendship deepens. But for Yangchen to chart her course as a singularly powerful avatar, she must learn to rely on her own wisdom above all else. My thoughts. This was a very different story compared to the Kyoshi novels I read back in April. It felt like a spy thriller with all the sneaking and secrets. I like reading how Yangchen struggles with her air nomad ways and trying to find a way to bring peace to the world, even if it means going against her nation's teachings. I feel her having past lives take over her could have been used more in the story, though. I gave Dawn of Yangchen a 4 out of 5 stars. Next is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Yes, I finally started this popular series. I read this as a physical book. The summary states, in a land without magic, where the king rules with an iron hand, an assassin is summoned to the castle. She's not here to kill the king, but to win her freedom. If she defeats 23 killers, thieves, and warriors in a competition, she is released from prison and serves as the king's champion. Her name is Celaena Sardonath. The crown prince will provoke her, the captain of the guard will protect her. But something evil dwells in the castle of glass, and it's here to kill. When her competitors start dying one by one, Celaena's fight for freedom becomes a fight for survival, and a desperate quest to root out the evil before it destroys her world. My thoughts. I was kind of surprised at how much I really enjoyed this book. I had the impression this book was not too great, as people say how much better the later books are, and you just have to get through the first one. Also, I've tried to read Court of Thorns and Roses and can't seem to get into it. So this was actually a nice intro to the series. I really like the character interactions, and I think Celaena is a fun character. I do wish there were more scenes of the contests during the competition to see more of Celaena's skills in action. I gave Throne of Glass 4 out of 5 stars. The last book I read is Legacy of Yangchen. I listened to this on audiobook. The summary states, Avatar Yangchen has succeeded in bringing a measure of stability to Ben-Er, but her successes have been limited to a single city and rumors concerning unanimity, a weapon capable of total obliteration, have led to the increase of tensions among the four nations. Desperate to restore diplomacy, Yangchen attempts to de-escalate hostilities between heads of state. But in the wake of a brutal assassination and the freeing of the unanimity, Yangchen is forced to bring Kavik, the trusted former companion whose betrayal crushed her, back into her fold. As the four nations tear into brink of conflict and she begins to unravel the power-hungry Chastity's true agenda, Yangchen is forced to measure the worth of humanity and how much can be sacrificed in the name of balance. My thoughts. I thought this was a good sequel to Dawn of Yangchen. I like that it continues Yangchen's battle with Chansey, where the second Kyoshi novels followed another adventure that Avatar had. Both are great books, though. I also really liked Yangchen's struggles and how different she really was to how the characters in the franchise perceived her. I gave Legacy of Yangchen 5 out of 5 stars. So those were the 6 books I read in May. I usually don't make TBRs to be read lists for the following month, but I hope to make some progress in the Throne of Glass series. I don't have to read all the 7 other books in the series, but having 1 or 2 more read by the end of June would be great. I load up YouTube shorts every day except Friday. Friday is when I upload a long-form bookish artistic video. I also hope to put up more long-form videos each week soon. If you would like to see more of these, please subscribe. See you next time!